Hello, my name's Lesley Atherton, and this is my short story called Melancholic Reverie. Perhaps I've told you this before, but I'm not sure about how this life, my life, is playing out around me. I read that I should be doing more, doing less, or concentrate less on doing and more on simply being. You know, cut down, cull, simplify. What needs throwing away? What should I keep? My wardrobe must contain nothing but the 10 must-have fashion items of this season. That type of thing, or not. When you really look into it, the problem's obvious. I'm bored. I'm unsatisfied and frustrated. And however hard I try, I can't move away from it. The boredom is endemic. It's intrinsic to who and what I've become. And I'm bored of it. I'm sure life wasn't always like this. There were times, don't you remember, when we'd go to auctions and buy something crazy just because it was cheap and because we felt sorry for it? Remember the old mangle I covered with gold hammerite and used as a bookcase? All it took was a little ingenuity, a couple of bits of wood and a whole load of Jubilee clips. I liked that one. And do you remember that barrel I bought, the one with its own ship's figurehead? Later you said you'd taken a scunner to it the moment you saw it, and even I knew you disliked it by the way you tried to drop it en route to my Volvo estate. By the time it was home, you'd turned me against the damnable thing too, and I couldn't sleep for worrying about how it must be cursed. Like a rebounding rabbit's foot, holding a curse which the owner must rid herself of by giving it away. I tried to pass that barrel elsewhere. I left it on the pavement for 13 days with a laminated sign. Free to good home, it said. But I couldn't give it away. It was still there after a fortnight, after a month, and after 6 weeks. In the end, we moved. We drove past a couple of weeks later, and there was the barrel still outside the house. But now it had been made, with only a little adaptation, into a super funky garden planter. It looked brilliant, but for years we drove past there, half expecting fire, tragedy, or at the very least for all the pansies to wither. But that didn't happen, as far as we knew. I was glad that their trust had broken the curse. And do you remember, sweet friend of mine, how when we were younger we couldn't have been bored if we'd tried? We'd got that much of a buzz simply from being us. It isn't like that anymore, is it? In our mid-20s, we knew it all. We had ideas about everything, and an absolutely unstoppable energy too. We thought life would always be like that. We thought that aging wouldn't bother us, that we'd be ready for it, if you like. We'd accept the aching limbs and life's inevitable limitations. But almost 30 years on, I don't see it like that. I'm too tired to turn my ideas into action, so I don't do anything, and I'm bored. At my best, I'm borderline bordering on bored, but at my worst, the sleepy, apathetic being I've become just can't be bothered being other than fed up bored. At my best, I'm borderline bordering on bored, but at my worst, the sleepy, apathetic being I've become just can't be bothered being other than fed up bored. So, baffled by memories of a different me who doesn't seem to actually be me, I have plans to move on. I don't want to be that boring, bored bugger who can't get on a bus without dulling someone's day. I want to be fabulous, flirty, 55 and fit. I want to groove all the way to my grave, as of now. Actually, no, as of tomorrow. I have to buy a new pair of trainers before I can exercise. Okay, as of tomorrow night, because I need to do a big shop, buy some healthy food, contact a few friends, set up a Facebook group or 2 or 3. Maybe I should leave this rediscovery till Monday? That's the traditional day for turning one's life around and re-becoming the person one used to be. Oh, but no, there's that civil partnership at the registry office on Wednesday, and the party at the Miners' Arms afterwards, so perhaps that would be a bit daft. Perhaps I'm setting myself impossible boundaries and guidelines. Perhaps the new year would be best. Then suddenly, I sit up in my chair. I am no longer bored. I have spent, I check the clock, 1 whole hour and 16 whole minutes completely focused on what I am thinking. The boredom is gone, and so is the incentive to change. I shall undoubtedly remain as I am, and vow to be happy about it till my next bout of melancholic reverie.